It's 3 p.m. BST. It can only mean one thing. It is time for Sportuccino. Yes, I'm Richard Parr. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and of course at sportuccino.com, your home for all things sport. All right, let's start the program with the biggest stories of the weekend in the world of sport. Sergio Garcia wins the Masters, his first major golf title. Lewis Hamilton is victorious at the Chinese Grand Prix. Despite a 1-1 draw with Atletico, Real Madrid extend their La Liga lead after Barcelona lose to Malaga. And One for Arthur wins the Grand National at Aintree. Yes, amazing stuff there for Sergio Garcia, winning the Masters. Incredible performance by him, beating Justin Rose in sudden death, 9 under par, going right at the end, and they went to that sudden death hole, which Garcia won on the 60th birthday of Sergio Ballesteros, what would have been his birthday if he was still alive, the two-time Masters winner. And of course, Garcia now the third Spaniard in history to win a major title. Jose Maria Olazabal, the other player to do it. And of course, Garcia has had an amazing ride. He's been so close on 4 occasions. Twice at the US PGA Championship, he finished second, and also twice at the Open. He was tied second in 2007 and 2014. His first victory. Well done to Sergio Garcia. All right, before we start talking about football, I want to tell you about Virtual Star Finder. Virtual Star Finder is a product that we personally use here at Sportuccino. It is something which can help build a team. So you can get talented people from across the globe working virtually, and they could be WordPress experts, they could be SEO specialists, they could just be general virtual assistants to help you with your everyday tasks and email management and social media and things like that. What I've done is I've put a link to Virtual Star Finder on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page, and crucially at sportuccino.com. It's under the resources page. Have a look at our resources. We've got some really good things there which helps you into the background of Sportuccino, the process, how we make the show, what exactly we do to create this daily video cast on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and sportuccino.com. And don't forget, this is also a podcast on iTunes. So go and have a look at Virtual Star Finder, click through the link, and of course, if you end up using their service, using our link, you'll also be supporting our show, Sportuccino. All right, we're going to be talking about the Spanish League very shortly with our guest, Ana Maupome. But for now, let's have a look at what happened in the English Premier League on Saturday. So the weekend started with Tottenham beating Watford 4-0, and from the highlights that I saw, it could have been a lot worse for Watford. Goal from Dele Alli, absolute cracker there. Eric Dyer getting his second goal in a week, and Son Heung-min getting 2 goals, and he came so close to hat-trick on 2 occasions. Harry Kane also looked to have hit the woodwork. It was Manchester City 3, Hull 1, Middlesbrough. They still can't get a win, can they? They drew 0-0 with Burnley. Liverpool, they needed their 2 substitutes to rescue them against Stoke. John Walters had given Stoke the lead, but Philippe Coutinho, becoming the highest Brazilian scorer in Premier League history, made it 1-1, and 2 minutes later, in the 72nd minute, an absolutely cracking strike from Roberto Firmino gave Jurgen Klopp's side the victory. So Liverpool 2-1 winners there. Southampton, they won 1-0 away at West Brom. West Ham, they beat Swansea by 1-0. But Chelsea, they really look like they're on the verge of winning the English Premier League with yet another victory. They beat Bournemouth by 3-1. A Smith own goal, a great finish from Eden Hazard. But Joshua King, he keeps scoring goals for Bournemouth. He got one back just before half-time. That made it 2-1. His strike was deflected into the net. I think it was off Gary Cahill. And then a quality free kick from Marcus Alonso gave Chelsea the 3-1 victory. What did you make of that? It looks like it's going to be Chelsea's title this season. Love to get your thoughts on that on the Facebook page and on the YouTube channel. Let us know, is anyone going to stop Chelsea, and just how good have they been this season? In fact, Marcus Alonso's strike reminded me of Sebastian Poglioli's goal for Brighton as Brighton won on Friday at QPR to strengthen their position ready for promotion into the Premier League along with Newcastle. It's looking pretty good for both of those teams. We'll see if they'll be in the Premier League next season. All right, let's have a quick chat about what happened in the Premier League on Sunday. Yes, Sunderland 0, Manchester United 3. Another goal for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Also a late goal by Marcus Rashford, giving United that 3-0 win. Well, it was a cracking game between Everton and Leicester City. There were lots of goals, but inside the first 35 minutes it was 2-2, but eventually Everton won 4 goals to 2. While on Monday night's game is Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Give us your predictions on that on the Facebook page and on the YouTube page. We would love to hear from you. Well, it looks like Chelsea are eventually going to win the Premier League. The gap is getting bigger. Well, it's a big gap right now. Spurs still trying to stay up there, but Chelsea is still keeping that lead thanks to that win against Bournemouth with a 3-1 victory. While the Spanish League, that is as tight as ever. Real Madrid drew 1-1 with Atletico Madrid, while Barcelona, as we mentioned in the headlines, they lost 2-0 at Malaga, and it's now Real Madrid 3 points clear ahead of Barca at the top of the table. Not a massive margin, you know, one win or one defeat could completely change things in the title race. But I'm delighted to say that joining me now on the programme, live from Mexico City, I'm absolutely delighted about this. Our first guest from Mexico, Ana Maupome, the sports correspondent, now joins me live on Sportuccino. It's good afternoon from me, but good morning to you, Ana. How are you doing today?
Good morning, I'm really good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Delighted that you are our first guest from Mexico. We've been lucky enough to be live in Uganda, Singapore, Qatar, New Zealand, all over the world. But now we get to speak to you live from Mexico City, a Spanish football expert. Huge game at the weekend between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. 1-1 there, Ana. What did you make of that game? Was it a fair result?
Well, I'm a Real Madrid fan, so I don't think so. But yeah, in matters of the game, yeah, it was a fair result. I think the defense of de Madrid really kept the game where it was, and it was a bad defense call from the Real Madrid. So Griezmann could open space and score the late goal, which give the tie. But yeah, I think Atleti really make a good plan for the game, and it was a really fair score.
So 1-1 the final score. You mentioned about Atletico looking good in defence. There's that amazing save by Savic clearing off the line for Ronaldo. But Real Madrid, they've got their own concerns going into their Champions League game against Bayern Munich. How do you think they're looking heading into that game?
It's going to be a tough game because Ancelotti really knows the team. He was the manager once. They won the Champions League with him. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game because Ancelotti really knows how the team works. And we have two players that won't be. So our defense is going to be in problems. But yeah, we don't have a Bale in the best of his level, so it's a German team. We have problems in the past with the German team, so it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be tough. I don't think it's going to be a win game. Like I probably it's going to end on a tie.
Yep, it looks like there's going to be no Varane and no Pepe for that game for
No.
Real Madrid. Let's talk a little bit more about Atletico briefly. Antoine Griezmann with that late goal, the 85th minute winner. Lots of rumours going around that he'll be leaving the club. And just before I ask you this, I want to mention that today's poll on our Twitter page is asking, will Antoine Griezmann still be an Atletico Madrid player this season? Yes or no? That's the poll on our Twitter page. Will Antoine Griezmann still be an Atletico Madrid player next season? Even talk of a move to Real Madrid. What do you think, Anna? Will he still be an Atletico player? Will he still be playing under Diego Simeone?
I don't think so. I think he's going to move to Premier League. The rumors around him signing for Manchester United are really big, so my gut says it's going to be to the Premier League.
I think that would make a really interesting strike force. Imagine Zlatan and Griezmann up front, Anna.
That will be huge. I think it's just thinking about it, it got me excited. But yeah, it will be great. Zlatan is a really, really nice player. And with the velocity and the speed of Griezmann, the way he smells the goal and stuff, yeah, I think Zlatan and him is going to be a great duo.
For now, he is an Atletico Madrid player. They do have an important game in the Champions League this week against Leicester City. Leicester City through to the Champions League quarter-finals for the first time. Obviously, it's their first appearance in the Champions League. Atletico, they've been reaching semi-finals. I think it was 3 of the last 4 years, or this will be the 3rd of the last 4 years for Atletico. They're really strong in this competition. Of course, only lost the final last season on penalties to their great rivals, Real Madrid. It's probably going to be a similar lineup to what they played against Real, but do you expect any problems for them against Leicester?
No, I think the way Simeone plans the games, he really studies the country team. So I don't think it's going to be that hard, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of goals from Atletico either. So I kind of think that maybe Simeone is going to not to be that close on defense this time because he needs a little more movement in the front. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a really easy game, but I don't think it's going to be tough either. So I'm rooting. I think Madrid is going to get the win in that game, though.
Let's push you for a score prediction there then, Anna.
Maybe 2-0 Madrid.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. That is Tuesday in the Champions League. Well, it wasn't a very good weekend for Barcelona. They lost 2-0 at Malaga. Could it have been worse, Anna?
Well, being Barcelona, I don't think could be even worse. But yeah, it was a really bad result because they have the tie from Madrid. They were chasing them in La Liga, in the table of the Liga, so they needed to win in order to be closer to push the Liga a little closer. But no, it was a really bad result. I don't think it could be even worse, but still, it's a really bad result.
And of course, they played most of that game with 10 men after Neymar was sent off. He'd got booked earlier in the game for a yellow card because he was cheekily tying his shoelace right in front of where the Malaga player wanted to take a free kick, and the ref booked him for that. But then he later got shown a straight red card. What did you make of that whole situation, Anna?
It was Neymar. It's kind of I think he sometimes loses the type of team he's playing with, because he makes really dumb mistakes sometimes. And now Barcelona is really worried because of he applauded to the referee after the game, so that it could give him another match ban. So he could probably miss the Clásico, which is really bad news for them. So they're trying to appeal the the first yellow card, so it will be just a one match ban. But with the attitude he showed to the referee, he could be easily sent off 2 games. So it's really bad news because Neymar has a way to read Real Madrid defense. So yeah, if he's not there in the Clásico, it's gonna be a really it's put them in a really worse situation.
Are you thinking that this El Clasico is effectively going to be a title decider?
No, because Real Madrid has 3 points ahead of Barcelona and still one match less. So I don't think it's going to be a decider.
Okay, yeah, very interesting stuff. All right, we're going to be talking about Barcelona's game in the Champions League and a few other La Liga bits of news in just a moment with Anna. But before we do that, I want to tell you about where you can get some of this amazing Sportuccino merch, like the Sportuccino mug, t-shirts and hoodies. Why don't you have a look at this? We were just talking about Neymar. Anna is still here. And Anna, we've just got a little bit of breaking news, haven't we? Tell us about it.
Oh, I just heard that Neymar is going to be out for 3 games, so he misses the Clásico.
Yeah, a huge loss there for Barcelona. No Neymar for the next 3 games after that red card against Malaga. He will be available for their Champions League game against Juventus. And so will Piqué and Rakitic, who missed the game at the weekend for Barcelona. But there's no Sergio Busquets for Barca at Juventus. How much of a loss will he be for Barca, Anna?
Well, they have Rakitic back, so it's going to be a sensitive loss, but not that much because Rakitic is back, Piqué is back. They kind of know the Italian way of game, so they've been matched in the past. So yeah, it's not good to not have Busquets in the squad, but yeah, it's not gonna be that bad. Rakitic is back, which is really good news, though.
Yeah, I do wonder, Anna, you mentioned about Barcelona knowing the way that the Juventus team play, but I wonder how much Dani Alves has told Juventus how Barcelona play.
Yeah, it's really interesting seeing that thing because Dani spent a lot of seasons with Barca and he really knows the essence of the team, but they also really know Dani, so it's a 50-50 kind of thing because they know the way Dani plays, they know the way he tries to trick the referee. So yeah, it will be really nice to see the way they face each other, Barca with Dani. And they also have Higuaín, which they really know from Real Madrid when he was in Real Madrid team. So it will be great.
Yeah, very dangerous striker, and of course, with Piqué coming back, that'll be very important to keep an eye on Gonzalo Higuaín, one of the best strikers in the world right now. Let's move away from the top 3. Let's move away from Barca and Real Madrid and Atletico. And let's talk about a few of the other bits of news coming out of La Liga today. And some pretty sad news for Giuseppe Rossi, Anna.
Yeah, he's going to be out for like the rest of the season. But yeah, it's really sad for him because he was having a really good season.
Yeah, 6 months out, it looks like it's going to be for Giuseppe Rossi. It's going to be on his left knee. That's the injury this time around. He's had 3 other bad injuries on his right knee. The former Villarreal striker, former Fiorentina, of course, Started
Yeah.
much of his career at Manchester United, the Italian who so many people think is such a good player, but has been so blighted with injuries throughout
Yeah.
the years. Hopefully he will get better soon. But there's also some news from Granada, Anna.
Yes. Lucas Alcaraz is no longer the head coach of the team. Tony Adams is going to be the one who will replace him for the rest of the season. He knows the sport. He was a really great defense from England, actually. So yeah, but it's really sad for Lucas Alcaraz. I think he was not having the result he was expecting, but they needed a change though.
They did need a change. They're fighting relegation right now. Tony Adams has predicted they can finish in the mid-table. What do you think, Anna?
Well, it's going to be hard, but it's not impossible because they don't have a lot of toughest games but I think he can manage to not be in the middle of the table, but avoid relegation. I think he can manage that.
Yeah,
It's gonna be interesting watching that, because Lucas Alcaraz was trying too hard, I think, but the fresh of the new coach, that fresh, maybe could put the team in another perspective to not be in the middle of the table, but at least avoid relegation.
Yeah, there's always a bit of a honeymoon period for a club, isn't there, when they change manager? You get a few wins when you get a new manager because everyone's trying to impress them. Statistically, it is actually shown that does make a bit of a difference. I want to get your thoughts on one last bit about Tony Adams here. And of course, Adams, a previous manager at Wycombe, at Portsmouth. His last job was in Azerbaijan, and he also worked with the Chinese firm which now run Malaga, who went working for one of their Chinese sides out in the Chinese Premier League. He came in as a director of football. He's now going to be the manager until the end of the season. Now, how important do you think it is for a manager to really know and understand the league, perhaps to have played in the league? If we look at David Moyes at Real Sociedad, wasn't too good an experience. Gary Neville didn't do very well at Valencia. You could also go back to Chris Coleman for his time in Spain. Does it matter that they don't know the league, or is it just important they know football? What do you think, Anna?
I think it's important to know the way of the league functions, but it's not that. How can I say this? It's not like the top of the iceberg. It has to. You have to know the way a team functions, whether it's Premier League, it's Mexican League, it's Spanish League, but you have to know the essence of the teams you are going against with, and that's the essence of football. So I think the English managers that have been with the Spanish League have tried to maybe play the same way the English Premier League works, but that's not like the case in Spain. In Spain, it's a little bit not that fast as the Premier is, but I think Tony Adams has a little bit of more reading into the game. So I think he's going to be a really good manager in Spain. I think he could stay for another season if the results are what he's expecting. But yeah, I really think he's one of the very few that can work in Spain.
Well, Anna, it's been really good to get your thoughts on everything to do with La Liga this season. Some exciting Champions League games coming up this week. Thank you so much for your time today. Just before you go, let us know how we can continue to get your knowledge from social media, such as your Twitter handle, please, Anna.
Oh, it's at Ana Pau M.
Simple as that. Easy as that.
As simple as that.
Maupome, thank you so much for being on Sportuccino. It's been great to talk to you.
It's been great to talk to you too, Red.
Really good to speak to Anna there on Sportuccino today. What did you think of her thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know on the Facebook page and on YouTube. We'd love to get your thoughts. Who's going to win the Spanish League? Will it be Real or will it be Barcelona? How do you think these teams, including Atletico, will fare in the Champions League this week? Would love to hear from you on the programme today. Now, we have great guests on Sportuccino every single day. And on Friday's show, we were previewing the Grand National. And it was a 14-1 winner that took home the prize. And guess what? Our guest on Friday, Tom Castle from White Diamond Racing, correctly predicted the winner. Have a look at this.
Previously on Sportuccino.
My tip for this year's Grand National is going to be One for Arthur, trained by Lucinda Russell, ridden by Derek Fox. He starts off again, just like Leon Rouge and Definitely Red. He's off a nice weight of 10 stone 11. One thing you can say about this horse is that he's safely say that he is going to stay the trip. He just won't be beaten for stamina. He won the Betfred Classic at Warwick on his latest run. He travelled very strongly in his races. And out of his 10 chase starts, he's never fallen or unseated, which obviously in a Grand National is very important.
Tom Castle there, spot on with his prediction that One for Arthur would win the Grand National at Aintree. Fabulous stuff from him. Earned me a little bit of money. I made a little bet. You know, please gamble responsibly, make your own decisions. But I did follow Tom's tip. It helped me win a little bit of money. Thanks to Tom for that. Of course, really important point he made at the end of that prediction was that the horse needs to last the distance, and One for Arthur certainly did that, becoming the second ever Scottish trained horse to win the Grand National. Fabulous stuff. If you enjoyed watching that, let us know on the Facebook page. All right, we have come towards the end of another Sportuccino even, live at 3 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube, and crucially, sportuccino.com. Just before we go, let's have a reminder of the biggest sporting headlines of the weekend. Take a look at this. Sergio Garcia wins the Masters, his first major golf title. Lewis Hamilton is victorious at the Chinese Grand Prix. Despite a 1-1 draw with Atletico, Real Madrid extend their La Liga lead after Barcelona lose to Malaga. And One for Arthur wins the Grand National at Aintree. So that's it for today's Sportuccino. We've been reflecting on everything that's been happening in La Liga. We also spoke about Sergio Garcia winning the Masters, and we reviewed the English Premier League. Every single Monday, we will be discussing and reviewing the biggest sports stories that have happened. While on a Friday, we will be previewing all of the big games, matches, and events happening in the world of sport. So in between, in the middle of the week, we have different things we're going to talk about. And on Tuesdays, we're going to be talking about health, fitness, and nutrition. And guess what? I've got an amazing guest for you on Tuesday's Sportuccino this week. It's Commando Steve. Yes, Commando Steve is going to be on the program. You do not want to miss it. He's going to give us some amazing fitness skills. Plus, the product review will be back. I will be reviewing the Boost Ball. So every Tuesday will be our health and fitness product review. That's where you can see that. I know we used to do it every single day, but it's going to be on a Tuesday from now on, and it's going to be so good to speak to Commando Steve. If you've got any questions for him, please send us a message on the Facebook page or get involved on Twitter at Sportuccino. All right, I have been Richard Parr. You've been watching this live program, or perhaps you've been listening to it on iTunes. Thanks for you for watching or listening. I've been Richard Parr, and I'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 p.m. BST with Commando Steve.